We are inside of the 2024 Dodge Hornet, and we are going to take a ride and see if this is worth your money at all. My name is Jason, and you're watching Got an X. This is going to be Dodge's new CUV, which is definitely living up to that name because this thing is compact. On the inside, driving it is not a spectacular feeling. I mean, there is a little bit of engine noise. We are currently in the hybrid version of it, but we are in the highest trim. We are in the RT Plus, which is going to be about $46,000 starting out, and honestly, it's a little bit lackluster. I mean, on the inside of this car, you are packed like a sardine, and that is not a good thing. I mean, it is not a very comfortable driving experience either. I mean, these seats aren't necessarily that comfortable too. The acceleration's pretty all right though, but I expect a little bit more coming off of that close to 380 something pound-feet of torque that this engine provides. The engine itself is a little bit solid. It is going to be a 1.3 liter hybrid engine because this is the hybrid version. You can get a normal 4-cylinder one, which is also available on the GT models and the GT Plus exclusively, but this one is a nice little hybrid engine. It's going to create 288 horsepower and that 383 pound-feet of torque, to be a little bit more specific on that number. But overall, I mean, this thing kind of lags on just a little bit, and that really isn't my favorite thing. I feel like Dodge is kind of known, or at least in some of the cars that they're doing, you know, for that Hellcat engine, for that really fast, nice, exciting, and fun feeling car. And this is kind of marketed to be a bigger Charger. And looks-wise, honestly, it is pretty solid. I was a little bit off-put because it blends in a little bit too much, but that front is kind of iconic. It looks a lot like a Charger that you would get, and realistically speaking, I think the Charger looks pretty good. A lot of people are going to fight me on that. Some people think it looks like a boat. Some people think it's not really the best of the best. But overall, I do like the muscle car feel that it offers. I like the feel of that car in general. It kind of just feels like a big Challenger, but it doesn't have the same nice driving and fun feel with it. Looks wise though, it is pretty solid. I mean, all around the car there are good accents. I love the logoing as well. I think the Hornet is a cool little nod to the Scat Pack emblem, and it looks really, really good. I do just overall really like the Hornet design language and everything along those lines, but just the driving is where it falls short. On the inside here, we do have a bunch of nice things too though. I mean, they have updated their screen, and now we have a nice and modern screen here in the center of the infotainment, and that is fantastic. I mean, there are a few complaints I have about this one. It feels like the Dodge system that they implemented, I don't know exactly what it is. I just am not absolutely in love with it. I think having to control a lot of the specifics through this screen is a little bit annoying, but it does have Apple CarPlay, and that is integrated quite nicely. The screen does look high quality. This one comes with cooled and heated seats. The cooled seats, honestly though, I mean, we are at 107 degrees here in Vegas right now, and honestly, they are the most lackluster cooled seats I've ever used in my entire life. Like, I genuinely feel kind of disappointed. I never felt like it got cold, so if you're looking for something like that, it's not really going to suffice. This is also going to have a digital gauge cluster. I think that looks really nice. I actually really like this gauge cluster. I think it's good. You have a bunch of your controls down here as well, so you're not going through entirely your infotainment system to change things, but let's talk about a lot of the cons in here. Nothing on the inside feels good. This is where the car makes you feel horrible. You hear a lot of cabin noise when you're driving. There is no comfort through and throughout. This armrest here is unironically probably the worst positioned armrest I've ever seen in my entire life. I know I'm not the best to talk about fitting comfortably in a car. I am a lot taller than your average person, but honestly, I don't see how your average person gets comfortable in here. My seat is all the way down, and if I sit up straight, I am actually head into the roof. It's kind of miserable in that aspect, as well as like on the left and the right, you're going to be feeling cramped. You are going to be butting heads with your passenger. This is a CUV, standing for compact utility vehicle, and this thing is compact. I can't understate that much. If you want a bunch of room, you're not getting that in this. There's also just open space. I mean, the wireless charger down here is a nice addition, but it looks really sloppy. I mean, there are just so many flaws on the inside of this car that I really do think weigh it down. I mean, the interior leaves a lot to be desired. For being a 2024, there is a bunch of good in this car. They have the features in the right places, but they just aren't executed on perfectly. And I think that really is the big downside of here, is it's just not executed right. You know, it has a lot of the pieces, so maybe in the future it can get a little bit better. But as of right now, it kind of does fall flat. Overall, the Hornet is a good looking car. It's a okay driving experience, and it's a little bit of a steep price point to get that hybrid engine. It is still an option that if you are considering and you like Dodge, you'll probably like it, but this just really falls short for me. I am not the biggest fan of the Hornet. I would probably take other car brands over this one pretty easily, just because this one doesn't feel fleshed out. That's really gonna be the big kicker. Let us know what you guys think about the car though. If you guys think that I'm overreacting and it's really nice, or there's a lot of good with the car. If you liked the video, please leave a like, leave a comment if you disagree or whatnot. Subscribe if you wanna see more from us, and we will see you in the next video.